Urgent, the Lakers may have an important player to play alongside LeBron James and Luka Dončić. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. As the offseason looms, the Los Angeles Lakers are actively exploring adjustments to revamp their roster following a disheartening playoff exit. After falling to the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5, the Lakers front office has acknowledged the pressing need to upgrade key areas of the team in order to make their dynamic duo, LeBron James and Luka Dončić, competitive in the ever-challenging Western Conference. With another title run in mind, the Lakers have begun to outline a roadmap for roster upgrades, focusing on athletes that can enhance their core both offensively and defensively. While their immediate concern lies in shoring up the front court, particularly with a reliable big man, the organization is also keeping an eye on bolstering their wing rotation. Versatility and depth have become central themes in these early roster discussions. One pressing need that has been subtly highlighted is the Lakers' quest to improve their three-point shooting. Despite the roster featuring capable perimeter shooters such as Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, and the promising rookie Dalton Knecht, their shooting output during the 2024-25 campaign failed to meet championship standards. The team shot 36.6% from beyond the arc, placing them 14th in the league, far from elite status for a franchise with championship ambitions. Recognizing this deficiency, the Lakers are evaluating potential trades or acquisitions that could bring in a dependable shooter, particularly one who thrives off the ball. While 3-and-D players are increasingly abundant in today's NBA, securing a veteran with consistent performance and playoff experience could be a key move in reshaping the team's identity. One name that has emerged on the Lakers' radar is Duncan Robinson, currently with the Miami Heat. The veteran wing is widely regarded as a high-level perimeter shooter with a knack for finding space and capitalizing on catch-and-shoot opportunities. In an effort to secure his services, rumors suggest that the Lakers could offer a trade package including guard Gabe Vincent, forward Maxi Kleber, and the 55th overall pick in the 2025 NBA Draft. This potential acquisition has the makings of a strategic win for Los Angeles. With Luka Dončić expected to anchor the offense moving forward, surrounding him with proficient shooters who understand spacing and movement without the ball is critical. Robinson, known for his tireless off-ball activity and shooting accuracy, fits the mold perfectly. At 31 years old, Duncan Robinson appeared in 74 games for the Heat during the 2024-25 season. He averaged 11 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 2.4 assists in just over 24 minutes per game, while converting an impressive 39.3% of his three-point attempts. These numbers reflect not only his offensive impact but also his efficiency in a limited role, an indication that his productivity could rise with more minutes and a defined role in Los Angeles. Adding Robinson would not only elevate the Lakers' outside shooting but also add a seasoned presence to their bench rotation. As a sixth or seventh man, his role could prove pivotal during deep playoff runs, providing the scoring punch and floor spacing that Dončić and James need to thrive in a half-court setting. Moreover, this trade scenario would allow the Lakers to free up roster spots and potentially reduce salary cap pressures while bringing in a proven contributor. The outgoing players, Vincent and Kleber, while valuable in their own right, have struggled to stay consistent or healthy in recent months. By consolidating their assets into a more defined role player like Robinson, the Lakers would be making a calculated decision to prioritize shooting, experience, and fit. In a Western Conference that demands both firepower and finesse, especially in crunch time, having a sniper like Robinson ready to stretch defenses and punish double teams could be exactly what the Lakers need to turn the corner. The front office seems to understand this, and fans are waiting eagerly to see if this potential deal materializes in the summer. The modern NBA revolves around spacing, pace, and precision shooting. Nowhere is this more evident than in offensive systems built around high-usage creators like Luka Dončić. For the Los Angeles Lakers, the realization that Luka is not only their future but also their offensive centerpiece has reshaped how they approach roster construction. Surrounding him with the right personnel, especially efficient shooters, has become a strategic necessity rather than a luxury. Duncan Robinson's profile matches this blueprint perfectly. While not a household name to casual fans, his impact on the court is undeniable. Few players in the league move off the ball with the same intensity and timing as Robinson. His ability to relocate on the perimeter, read defenses, and pull the trigger in rhythm transforms any half-court set into a dynamic scoring opportunity. Luka thrives when he's flanked by threats on the wing, players who can keep defenders honest and make opponents pay for collapsing in the paint. The Dončić pick and roll, often deployed as the team's primary action, becomes significantly more dangerous when there's a legitimate marksman like Robinson waiting in the corner or curling off a screen. His gravity alone can distort defensive rotations, opening up driving lanes for Lebron or post touches for secondary scorers. It's also worth noting that Luka's passing vision is arguably unmatched in today's game. He regularly identifies shooters before they've even spotted up, delivering pinpoint passes that reward smart movement. This synergy would likely elevate Robinson's efficiency further, potentially pushing his three-point shooting percentage even higher than his already impressive 39.3%. Meanwhile, the Lakers coaching staff has emphasized ball movement and unselfish play, characteristics that align with Robinson's approach. He doesn't demand the ball to be effective. In fact, he excels precisely because he doesn't need to dominate possessions. He operates within the flow of the offense, creating openings simply by running his routes and using screens with precision. One of the quieter benefits of bringing in Robinson is his impact on team chemistry and basketball IQ. By all accounts, he's a high-character player, someone who understands his role and communicates well on the floor. In locker rooms led by veterans like Lebron and Luka, having role players who are mentally engaged and committed to team success is vital. Robinson's playoff experience with the Heat, where he was part of deep postseason runs, adds a level of calm and poise that younger wings often lack. The Lakers' front office knows that the Western Conference isn't forgiving. Teams like Denver, Phoenix, and Golden State remain title threats, all boasting deep rotations and elite shooters. To keep pace, Los Angeles can't afford to be one-dimensional or rely solely on ISO-heavy sets. They need to modernize their spacing and diversify their offensive threats. Robinson's acquisition could be the first step in executing that vision. But there are strategic trade-offs. Acquiring Duncan Robinson would likely mean parting ways with Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber, two players who, while inconsistent, have had moments of value. Vincent's defense and Kleber's stretch big potential brought depth to the roster. However, neither has matched the kind of elite, single-skill proficiency that Robinson provides. It's a classic case of quality over quantity, something the Lakers may need to embrace if they hope to win now. From a cap space perspective, the trade makes sense. Robinson's contract, while notable, is manageable under the new collective bargaining agreement, especially if the Lakers intend to operate within the second tax apron. Letting go of Kleber and Vincent not only clears room financially but also paves the way for younger players like Connect or Max Christie to earn more consistent minutes. There's also the matter of locker room dynamics. Integrating a shooter like Robinson into an already star-studded lineup might raise questions about touches or minutes, but his career has shown he can adapt to various roles: starter, bench scorer, or closer. His willingness to sacrifice stats for team success aligns well with the culture that LeBron has cultivated over his tenure in LA. Ultimately, if the Lakers want to maximize Luka Doncic's prime and give LeBron James another realistic shot at a title, bold moves are necessary. Duncan Robinson isn't a superstar, but he could be the missing piece that makes everything else fit. A seamless glue guy, a reliable shooter, and a floor spacer who enhances the strengths of the team's stars, he could quietly become one of the most important additions in the offseason. The foundation of any championship-caliber team in the NBA is built upon its stars. For the Los Angeles Lakers, the pairing of LeBron James and Luka Dončić represents a rare convergence of generational talent. One a seasoned legend, the other a blossoming maestro. But even the most elite duos require the right supporting cast to unlock their full potential. That's where the search for the ideal role players like Duncan Robinson becomes pivotal. LeBron has long been known for his basketball IQ, court vision, and preference for surrounding himself with shooters who can spread the floor. His career has seen success flourish when he operates with reliable perimeter threats. Players like Ray Allen in Miami, Kyrie Irving in Cleveland, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope during the Lakers' 2020 title run. His ability to collapse defenses on drives and kick the ball out to open shooters is one of his greatest strengths, and maximizing that requires spot-up scorers who don't hesitate. Now pair that playstyle with Luka Doncic's unique skill set. Luka is more than just a ball handler or scorer, he's an offensive conductor. His tempo control, hesitation moves, and decision-making make him a nightmare to guard in pick-and-roll scenarios. But even the best conductors need instruments that respond on cue. That's why acquiring a sharpshooting wing like Duncan Robinson, who understands timing and space, could unlock a new layer of offensive complexity for the Lakers. The concern with pairing two ball-dominant players like LeBron and Luka has always been about rhythm. How do you keep both engaged without one overshadowing the other? The answer lies in building around them with players who enhance rather than require touches. Robinson doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. His mere presence alters the way defenses play. Teams are often forced to stay glued to him, which opens up space for LeBron and Luka to operate with less resistance. In lineups that include all three, imagine the possibilities. Luka initiates the offense, LeBron acts as a secondary creator or screener, and Robinson runs off screens or camps in the corner. Defenses would have to make difficult decisions on every possession. Collapse on a Dončić drive and risk a Robinson three, or hedge toward LeBron only to leave a shooter open on the wing. These dilemmas are the very situations that championship teams thrive on exploiting. There's also an intangible element to consider. Championship windows are fleeting, especially with a player like LeBron James approaching the final stages of his storied career. Every move the Lakers make now carries the weight of urgency. It's not just about building for the future around Luka. It's about maximizing the present. Robinson may not be a headliner, but he fits perfectly within this moment. An experienced shooter who's played in NBA Finals, understands his role, and won't disrupt team chemistry. Another dimension to this fit is coaching. Assuming the Lakers continue with a system that prioritizes pace, space, and defensive switching, Robinson becomes an even more attractive piece. Though he's not known for elite defense, his understanding of schemes and ability to stay disciplined within a system allow him to hold his own when paired with strong defenders. With LeBron and Finney-Smith flanking him, his weaknesses can be mitigated. Some critics argue that Robinson is too one-dimensional or that his shooting has streaky tendencies. While that may hold some truth, it's important to view his role within the bigger picture. The Lakers don't need him to be a primary scorer or star. They need him to do what he does best. Move without the ball, knock down threes, and stretch the floor. And while the proposed trade sends out depth in Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber, it's a calculated risk the Lakers appear willing to take. Vincent has had flashes but struggled with consistency and injuries. Kleber, while a capable floor spacer and defender, has battled similar issues. Consolidating those two for a player with a clearly defined role and elite shooting potential is not only logical, it's forward-thinking. In essence, the Lakers would be aligning their role players with the strengths of their stars. It's not about assembling the most talent on paper, it's about finding the pieces that complement each other on the court. Robinson isn't the most glamorous name in the league, but in a team built around LeBron's leadership and Luka's artistry, he could become the kind of silent contributor that championship banners are built upon. Behind every major move in the NBA lies a carefully crafted trade structure. The potential deal between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat for Duncan Robinson is no exception. Though it may seem like a simple player swap on the surface, the underlying motivations and implications for both franchises reveal a complex web of strategy, timing, and negotiation. Reports suggest that the trade would involve the Lakers sending guard Gabe Vincent, forward Maxi Kleber, and the 55th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft to the Heat in exchange for Duncan Robinson. On paper, it appears balanced. Los Angeles receives an elite shooter, while Miami gets two versatile players and a future asset. But why would both teams agree to this specific exchange? For the Lakers, the motivation is clear. They need a consistent three-point shooter who complements the existing core. Gabe Vincent, who joined the Lakers after an impressive postseason run with Miami, has struggled to maintain consistency and has faced injury issues that limited his availability and effectiveness. Though a gritty defender and high-effort player, his offensive limitations have made him expendable, especially when the team already has guards like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell in the rotation. Maxi Kleber, on the other hand, has been a serviceable big man with a unique skill set, spacing the floor as a stretch 4 or small ball 5. However, his health has been inconsistent over the past 2 seasons, and his defensive agility has declined. With younger, more athletic frontcourt options available, including the emerging Jackson Hayes and possibly new additions via free agency, Kleber has become less essential to the Lakers' plans. Meanwhile, Miami benefits in a different way. The Heat are known for maximizing undervalued players and turning depth into strength. Gabe Vincent is a familiar face in their system. His return would likely see him reintegrated quickly into a defensive-minded rotation. Kleber would provide a new frontcourt wrinkle, offering shooting that could help space the floor for Bam Adebayo. The 55th pick, while late in the draft, gives the Heat a chance to uncover another hidden gem, a specialty of their front office. For salary cap purposes, the trade also works. Robinson is on a contract that, while sizable, fits within the parameters of the deal. Sending out Vincent and Kleber balances the salaries enough to make the transaction cap legal without needing excessive financial maneuvering. This is key for the Lakers, who are likely to operate near the luxury tax threshold and must be cautious with every dollar committed. This deal also aligns with a broader shift in how the Lakers are structuring their team. Rather than relying on a deep, interchangeable bench with similar skill sets, they are pivoting toward a more role-specific model. In this strategy, each rotation player must serve a distinct, complementary function, whether it be rim protection, on-ball defense, or perimeter shooting. Robinson's role as a floor spacer is clear-cut and immediately fills a void that has limited the team's offensive potential. From a locker room standpoint, chemistry considerations are also factored in. LeBron James is known to prefer teammates who understand their roles and stay ready, even if their minutes fluctuate. Robinson's humility and professionalism make him a strong candidate for such a dynamic. He doesn't need volume touches or attention. He thrives within structure, executing his responsibilities with quiet precision. One potential downside, of course, is defense. Robinson isn't considered a strong on-ball defender, and in a conference filled with elite wings and guards, that's a concern. However, the Lakers believe that their system, anchored by LeBron's leadership and other wing defenders like Dorian Finney-Smith, can help mitigate those issues. Robinson's team defense has improved in Miami, and with the right schemes, he can be more than serviceable on that end. As the off-season progresses, timing will be critical. Trades of this nature are often held until after the draft or until certain free agent dominoes fall. But the Lakers' interest appears genuine, and the Heat's willingness to reshape their rotation could make this one of the summer's earliest notable moves. This deal isn't just about the players involved. It's about shifting philosophies, adjusting to evolving rosters, and maximizing windows of opportunity. For the Lakers, that window, especially with LeBron still performing at an elite level, is now. Waiting too long or settling for internal development could mean wasting a year of Luka Dončić's prime or missing LeBron's last legitimate shot at another ring. Adding Duncan Robinson wouldn't just be about percentages or spacing. It would symbolize a commitment to aligning every piece of the puzzle around their superstar duo. A precise, tactical move aimed at turning the Lakers from a playoff team into a true contender. If the Los Angeles Lakers move forward with acquiring Duncan Robinson, they won't just be changing personnel, they'll be triggering a tactical transformation. Adding one of the league's most dangerous movement shooters invites a shift in offensive philosophy, where floor spacing, off-ball action, and efficient ball movement become central themes. It's not just about plugging Robinson into the lineup, it's about reimagining how the Lakers generate offense with him, LeBron James, and Luka Dončić sharing the floor. Historically, the Lakers' offense has relied heavily on isolation plays and half-court creation through stars. LeBron initiates drives, finds cutters, and punishes mismatches. Luka, with his deliberate pacing and surgical precision, manipulates pick and rolls better than almost anyone. But while both thrive as ball-dominant players, this dynamic has, at times, slowed the tempo and led to predictable sequences when secondary scorers are absent or ineffective. Robinson offers a counterpoint to this predictability. He doesn't need the ball to be effective, and more importantly, he keeps defenses engaged even when he's not touching the ball. Through off-ball screens, handoffs, and constant motion, he creates what coaches call gravity, pulling defenders away from the paint and forcing constant switching and communication from opposing teams. This, in turn, opens up new lanes for Luka and Lebron to attack. Imagine a scenario where Luka runs a pick and roll with Anthony Davis while Robinson sprints along the baseline using a stagger screen. The defender must choose: fight through and risk leaving Davis open, or help on Luka and give Robinson a clear look. In either outcome, the Lakers benefit. Robinson's presence also allows for the implementation of more complex offensive sets. Floppy actions, Spain pick and rolls, and ghost screens become significantly more potent when executed with a shooter who can fire off-balance shots in motion. The coaching staff can utilize Robinson in Iverson cuts or dribble handoff situations where he immediately elevates for a quick-release three, a specialty of his since his breakout seasons in Miami. Defensive rotations against such movement-heavy actions often collapse under sustained pressure. That leads to breakdowns, open looks, and ultimately easier buckets. The Lakers, who often fell into stagnant, isolation-heavy stretches last season, desperately need this kind of offensive energy and unpredictability. Moreover, Robinson's style aligns well with what younger Lakers like Dalton Knecht and Max Christie are learning to adapt to. Both are developing wings who benefit from playing alongside veterans that model consistent off-ball discipline. Robinson could serve not only as a weapon but as a blueprint, a live example of how to remain active and dangerous even without the ball in hand. Another key benefit is transition offense. While Robinson isn't the fastest in open court, his ability to spot up early and position himself for quick threes in transition creates instant scoring threats. With LeBron still one of the league's best at pushing the break, and Luka always scanning for early offense, having Robinson trail the play or sprint to the corner could create a 4 to 6 point swing in mere seconds. Still, to fully maximize his offensive impact, Robinson will need a carefully structured role. He shouldn't be asked to freelance or over-dribble. His value is clearest when he's part of choreographed movements, operating in rhythm and responding to what defenses give. That requires a coaching staff willing to design sets specifically for him, something Miami excelled at and the Lakers must replicate. Defensively, the Lakers would have to make concessions. Robinson isn't known for lateral quickness or physical on-ball defense. But with smart switching schemes and help defenders like Davis and Finney-Smith, the damage can be contained. The key is to use his minutes wisely, matching him against second units, protecting him with strong defenders, and emphasizing team defense over isolation matchups. In crunch time, Robinson may not always close games depending on matchups. But his role in building leads, maintaining spacing and punishing defensive lapses during the bulk of the game could prove invaluable. Even when he's not scoring, his movement alone forces defenses to shift, offering LeBron and Luka clearer paths to the rim or more space in isolation. In short, Duncan Robinson gives the Lakers something they've lacked in recent years: an elite movement shooter who changes how opposing defenses behave. With his addition, the team's offense can evolve from a star-dependent, stagnant unit into a fluid, motion-driven attack. It's a small change in roster, just one player, but a massive shift in basketball identity. Beyond schemes and shooting percentages, what truly defines a championship team often lies in something less tangible: culture. A locker room's cohesion, the mutual trust between players, and the shared sense of purpose are all foundational to success. As the Lakers navigate this transitional era, with LeBron James nearing the twilight of his career and Luka Dončić ascending as the franchise's new cornerstone, any roster move must also serve to strengthen the emotional and leadership fabric of the team. Duncan Robinson might not be the loudest voice in the room or the flashiest presence on social media, but he brings a professionalism and stability that every contending team needs. His journey from undrafted rookie to starter in an NBA Finals series, has shaped him into a player who understands sacrifice, discipline, and the value of fitting into a greater system. In other words, he knows how to stay in his lane and perform under pressure. LeBron James has played alongside countless players throughout his career. The ones who thrived next to him weren't necessarily the most talented. They were the most adaptable. They embraced roles, communicated clearly, and showed up prepared every night. Robinson fits that mold. His experience under Eric Spoelstra in Miami, one of the league's most respected coaches, has molded him into someone who thrives in structure and stays mentally locked in. That kind of mentality resonates with veterans like LeBron, who has little patience for on-court immaturity or inconsistency at this point in his career. As he continues to set the standard for work ethic and preparation, having a player like Robinson reinforces that standard without conflict. He's not a threat to team hierarchy, he's a reinforcement to it. Now shift the lens to Luka Dončić. Still just entering his prime, Luka is already one of the most dynamic offensive forces in the NBA. But his leadership is still evolving. He's intense, passionate, and often expressive on the court, but he's learning how to guide a team through the mental grind of an 82-game season plus a deep playoff run. Surrounding Luka with experienced, mature teammates who can lead by example is crucial in shaping his development, not just as a player, but as the eventual face of the franchise post-LeBron. Robinson isn't going to challenge Luka's authority or disrupt chemistry. Instead, he acts as a glue guy, someone who contributes without ego, supports both stars, and focuses on execution. These are the types of players who elevate a team from good to great, who know how to respond to adversity, and who keep everyone grounded during both slumps and streaks. And then there's the cultural effect of having a player who has been part of the Heat's fabled culture. Miami is known league-wide for its emphasis on conditioning, discipline, and accountability. Bringing even a slice of that into the Lakers' locker room is valuable. It introduces another layer of expectation and consistency. Robinson doesn't just shoot threes, he brings a mindset. Let's not forget the younger players watching all this unfold. Rookies and second-year players take their cues from veterans. If they see Robinson working on his conditioning pregame, reviewing film, and practicing shooting mechanics with purpose, it sets a tone. Habits are contagious in the NBA, good or bad. Adding another veteran with championship aspirations and a mature outlook only helps reinforce the culture that LeBron has spent years trying to instill. There's also the benefit of personality balance. While LeBron and Luka are megastars, the supporting cast must consist of professionals who don't demand the spotlight. The chemistry of a locker room is delicate. One wrong fit can disrupt rhythm and morale. Robinson has already proven in Miami that he can thrive in a secondary role without complaints. He's comfortable being a contributor, not a focal point. From a leadership perspective, Robinson's voice may not dominate, but it adds to the overall harmony. He's known to communicate well with teammates, encourage during timeouts, and engage constructively in film sessions. These little details matter across a long season, especially when the grind sets in and external pressures mount. It's also worth considering the psychological comfort Robinson can bring to the court. Knowing a reliable shooter is spacing the floor changes how teammates approach their roles. LeBron might drive with more confidence. Luka might trust the kick-out pass more often, and Davis may have cleaner lanes to roll or post up. That sense of trust in spacing and reliability can calm chaos during clutch moments. Ultimately, the addition of Duncan Robinson wouldn't just bolster the Lakers' skill set, it would enhance their identity. It would reinforce a professional culture, balance the energy of the locker room, and support the leadership arcs of both LeBron and Luka. As the franchise carefully transitions from one era to the next, these kinds of moves, subtle, smart, and culturally aligned, are exactly what keep the foundation solid. Every NBA offseason becomes a high-stakes chess match in the Western Conference, where superstars are stacked and even minor tweaks can determine the outcome of a playoff series. For the Los Angeles Lakers, the margin for error is razor-thin. After a disappointing postseason exit, it's clear that merely standing still would be the equivalent of moving backward. That's why the potential addition of Duncan Robinson is more than a depth move. It's a calculated play to close the gap on Western Conference rivals. Let's be clear, the West is loaded. The Denver Nuggets still boast the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic and a system that maximizes every inch of the court. The Minnesota Timberwolves, who ended the Lakers' season, have matured into a defensive juggernaut with two-way stars like Anthony Edwards. The Golden State Warriors, though aging, can still explode from deep and dominate with their pace and space system. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic's former team, continue to build around Kyrie Irving and young assets. So where do the Lakers stand in that mix? They already have the most physically dominant duo in the league in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. With the addition of Luka Dončić, the Lakers arguably possess the most talented offensive engine in the NBA. But talent alone isn't enough. What separates the elite from the contenders is how well their parts fit together. That's where Duncan Robinson enters the equation. Against a team like Denver, spacing becomes paramount. Jokic roams defensively, playing drop coverage and daring teams to shoot from distance. The Lakers struggled to punish that consistently last season. With Robinson on the wing, defenders can't sag off without consequence. He stretches the floor and forces big men to defend wider, opening driving lanes for LeBron and Luka. Against the Warriors, perimeter play is a track meet. You need players who can keep up with Golden State's off-ball movement and respond with shooting of their own. Robinson doesn't just keep up, he thrives in those exact patterns. In fact, his shot mechanics and play style are often compared to Klay Thompson's, though Thompson is the superior defender. Still, Robinson can help the Lakers stay competitive in shootouts that previously tilted against them. Minnesota presents a different challenge: length, athleticism, and relentless defensive pressure. Beating that kind of team requires crisp ball movement and corner shooting. Duncan excels in those areas. His ability to relocate quickly and knock down contested shots can force defenders like Jaden McDaniels or Rudy Gobert to make tough decisions. Every moment they spend chasing Robinson off screens is one they're not using to block shots or defend the paint. And what about Phoenix or Sacramento? Both teams rely on pace, shooting, and guard-heavy lineups. The Lakers need to match firepower without abandoning their core identity. Robinson gives them that option. He doesn't need to handle the ball or slow down the offense. He moves in rhythm, complements star playmakers, and makes defenses pay for helping too much. The value of Robinson is even more critical when you consider how the playoffs operate. Half-court possessions dominate. Spacing becomes a premium commodity. Matchups get targeted and weak rotations are exposed. Having a player who consistently shoots above 39% from deep while moving off ball adds a dimension the Lakers lacked. Last year, teams simply packed the paint against LeBron and dared the Lakers to shoot. With Robinson on the floor, that's no longer a viable strategy. Moreover, when you assess the depth of these rival teams, most possess at least one elite shooter. Michael Porter Jr. in Denver, Malik Monk in Sacramento, Desmond Bane in Memphis, Klay Thompson, if retained, in Golden State. The Lakers haven't had that type of threat consistently since the days of peak Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Danny Green. Robinson would restore that identity and allow Los Angeles to mirror the spacing advantage that others have weaponized against them. There's also a psychological component. When opposing teams prepare for a playoff series, they dissect weaknesses. If the Lakers go into the postseason without a true perimeter specialist, their game plan becomes easier to dismantle. But with Duncan Robinson lurking around screens, they must rethink help defense, closeouts, and rotations. It complicates their preparation, and in a 7-game series, any mental edge matters. Additionally, should the Lakers face Luka's former Mavericks, the dynamic shifts completely. Luka would know Dallas defensive schemes, and with Robinson in tow, they could exploit weak side help over and over again. A high pick and roll between Luka and Davis, with Robinson curling off a pin-down screen on the opposite wing, forces maximum stress on the defense. 3 elite actions, pick and roll, weak side motion, and spot-up threat, happening simultaneously. In the battle for Western supremacy, no move exists in isolation. Every addition, every rotation tweak, must be made with matchups in mind. Duncan Robinson may not be a headline-grabbing superstar, but he is precisely the kind of specialist that elevates a playoff roster from hopeful to dangerous. His presence could be the adjustment that wins a crucial Game 6 or turns a tight third quarter into a game-breaking run. For the Lakers, who no longer have the luxury of waiting for a rebuild or banking solely on star power, those margins make all the difference. In the sprawling narrative of the Los Angeles Lakers, a franchise that defines NBA excellence, the balance between legacy and evolution has always been a delicate one. With 17 championships, a lineage of basketball royalty and global cultural influence, the Lakers are never just playing for wins, they're playing for history. The next chapter of that history hinges on how they manage the present with LeBron James and the emerging future with Luka Dončić. As the franchise pivots into a new phase, the addition of Duncan Robinson may seem, on the surface, like a minor roster enhancement. But in reality, it could represent something far more consequential, a symbolic and strategic bridge between eras. LeBron James remains a marvel at age 40, still dominant, still orchestrating the game with unparalleled IQ. But time waits for no legend. Each season now is framed by urgency. Every decision is filtered through the lens of, can this help us win a title now? The Lakers owe it to LeBron's final years to surround him with optimal pieces, and Robinson fits that requirement perfectly. A specialist who creates instant gravity on the floor, doesn't need the ball and plays within himself. He helps stretch the floor, relieve pressure on LeBron's drives, and punishes overhelping defenses. On the other hand, the long-term view centers on Luka Dončić, arguably the most gifted young star in the league. At just 26, his game is already historically productive, but he's missing one thing: championship experience. The Lakers are betting that by placing him in a more structured, success-driven environment with proven veterans, he'll gain the habits and support needed to transition from individual brilliance to team greatness. Robinson complements Luka in all the right ways. His constant off-ball motion gives Luka new tools for playmaking. Instead of carrying the burden alone, Luka can drive, kick, and let the system work. This evolution allows him to become a more efficient leader, mirroring the way Steph Curry benefited from teammates who moved and shot consistently, making defenses scramble. This is how dynasties form, not just through stars but through symmetry. Through players who understand their role, execute without ego, and elevate the entire structure. Duncan Robinson might never lead the Lakers in scoring. He might never start more than half the season's games. But in a deep playoff run, when the team needs a quick 6 points to stop a run, or a fourth-quarter corner three to take the lead, his value could be immeasurable. Moreover, his acquisition reflects a new kind of Lakers decision-making. In recent years, the franchise has sometimes over-prioritized big names at the expense of team fit. Trading for Russell Westbrook, for instance, disrupted chemistry and cost key depth. The pursuit of Robinson, by contrast, signals a maturity in team building, choosing function over fame, structure over spectacle. And that's the model the Lakers will need going forward. The West is evolving. Teams like Oklahoma City, Memphis, and New Orleans are building with patience and cohesion. If the Lakers want to stay relevant post-LeBron, they must lay that groundwork now. Players like Duncan Robinson provide the connective tissue. They stabilize the rotation, teach the young guys, and let the stars focus on being stars. From a fan perspective, it's also a reassuring message that the Lakers aren't chasing headlines but championships. That they're still invested in smart basketball, even while carrying the weight of historic expectations. It tells Luka Dončić this isn't just a stopover, it's a project with intent. And it honors LeBron's final years with a team that's not just coasting on his greatness, but actively building around it. The trade itself, sending out Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and a second-round pick, is a fair and balanced deal. The Lakers give up rotation flexibility but gain a focused skill. The Heat, in turn, refresh their backcourt options and pick up a draft asset. But make no mistake, this isn't just a transactional exchange. This is a philosophical one. The Lakers are saying, we know what we need to win, and we're going to get it. As the next season looms, the Lakers enter with questions but also with clarity. With LeBron and Luka at the helm, Anthony Davis anchoring the defense, and shooters like Duncan Robinson opening the floor, they possess a rare combination: championship pedigree, star power, and system cohesion. Will it be enough to hoist banner number 18? time will tell. But one thing is clear. With strategic decisions like these, the Lakers are once again moving like a team that understands what greatness demands, not just talent but timing, fit, and trust. And sometimes, a sharpshooting role player like Duncan Robinson is the missing piece that ties it all together.